I'm going to start this video outside. When Uncle Dutch has something to say, he usually says it. Here's a bike. It was a total screw-up. It's a nice bike. It just wasn't put together professionally. As you can see here, when you start getting that, the head's not tight. It starts blowing out, or you need a new head gasket. We're going to fix that. The clutch arm, I had to remove this. That's what all those marks are. This was a James, allegedly, up in Stroudsburg. He's contacted me a couple times, and James, I'm going to tell you something. If you're responsible for this mess, I'd like to kick you in the ass. I really would. I don't normally say things like that on my videos about competing businesses or whatever. He builds bikes up in Stroudsburg, but this really was a nice bike. You can see here, there was another screw-up I wanted to point out, because I know I'm not making that many videos. People constantly ask me, do you still build those bikes or fix them? And yes, I do. As you can see, the rag knuckle, I don't know if that's a misinstallation. I'm going to assume not. I'm going to assume somebody knew enough, okay, that this is against the spokes, yes, but the alignment. It would be nice if one day they came out, like this casing's wide enough that you could actually move the gear out, that they could make an adjustable gear or a shim package with it that you could line your chain up with. As I said, China's engineers, they produce something and they stick with it, unlike the United States. I mean, it's pretty much standard of the industry, but that was a decent motor combination. That was a little GT5. That's not the Zeta 80, although it resembles it. It's a GT5 package. That's that wide, the one that Fred and I talk about. It has a little bit wider girth and it's a little bit heavier. It distinctly resembles the new Zeta 80s, but it's not. So, in saying that, we have a problem with these chains. The customer, I sold him a bike. I'm having a hell of a time getting idler wheels worth of shit. I really am. But you can look at that bike. It's a mess. It needs cables. It just needs to be redone, so we're going to start on that today. I have to stand down for my other job because of the weather. After the police catastrophe and living next door to this crack house, I'm poorer than a church mouse, so I got to start hustling and getting to work, but the weather's not cooperating. They're calling for vicious weather. They got weather warnings out, tornado warnings. So in between the tomato warnings and the whatever, I call them tomato warnings, but anyway, in between all that, we're going to try to get as far as we can on this bike. I'm really disappointed in the whole damn affair. It was a nice bike and the kid traded it. It was basically worthless. He didn't have the skills to work on it. So Uncle Dutch is going to show you what he's looking for. And I know it's like a bear cave in here. It's kind of dark. I'm going to use my little flashlight. I'm going to put some light on that. I'm looking for these idler wheels. My cat is stinking me out. He's in the litter box. Oh, good boy. Hey, that's wow. That's enough to, I got to scoop that then. Powerful. That's what I'm looking for, is these idler wheels. These other ones, they tend to walk around. That's what happened to my bike. A new build, I tell everybody to go over things, make sure nothing's walking around after you use it a few times. Nobody listens to me. Nobody reads the manual. Everybody seems to, I don't know if they use it to line the cat box or they just throw it in the corner, but people are so idiotized as to not doing their job of reading a manual. You know, do you think you'd buy a car and not read the operator's manual? Because a lot of people do that. They just leave it in the glove box. They just start pushing buttons and switches like a monkey, and then when something's broke, well, anyway, I give the advice in my manual, okay, that you got to go over your bike after you ride it a few times. Like I said, the metals are inferior that a lot of this stuff coming from China is made out of. We make as much as we can here. I can't have 10, 20, 30 different product lines, but that is really a superior idler wheel, and I usually cut them right down here if they don't line up, and I'll weld it in place. A lot of times the dog leg there, on the bottom of the dog leg, it's not straight. They're usually not perpendicular. That's why I use certain frame bikes. They might be boring. They might not have the architecture of some of the other bikes and the nice features, but a nice straight frame and a nice straight chain are what really makes them haul ass. And like I said, I really prefer those engines with those wider bottoms on them. Like I said, them older GT5 engines and stuff, they were nice. So, thanks for watching my video. I don't know what this thing's doing. Hopefully this recorded.